Yeah. Street gang. Always move in a present state. Keep my house wrapped in yellow tape. Vibes increases, so check them shoes for they pass the gate. Deeper groove showing up for strength. Can't leave room for a serpent's ace, but leave a room when the void is great. And don't employ a lame, cause he can't remove the aim, just avoid the L. By peeping cues for a W is made. Ain't the struggle you escape, it's the trouble you evade. Only dummies moving ways that don't calculate for breaks. Funny dudes let the mood affect the money pace. 2020 prove the gang will do whatever it gon' take. That's why my neck naked, but my heart's gold. Head damage made a heart skull, and steady hands make the smart old. And any man with some time off his hands know this space ain't safe no more. That's all I'm giving you. That's what I got.
All in audio experience. All in audio experience.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the All In Audio Experience. Man, it's your boy Jordan here. Trent, where you at?
In Orlando, baby, and we got a great episode for y'all today. We got Trevor Lee in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Yes,
Street
sir.
gang?
Yes, sir, bro. This is a special one, man. We got an exceptional artist in the building, man. A man of many talents, bro. How you feeling? How you doing?
I feel exceptional.
Exceptional?
I feel phenomenal.
Phenomenal?
I feel blessed.
Yes, sir.
I feel respect.
Of course.
And honor to be here, man. I really do. It's special for me personally because you gave me a lot of tips. You came by the studio, you were just mentioning it, you gave me a lot of tips on podcasting because I was thinking about doing it. And I did end up producing two full seasons of podcasting that I scratched.
You scratched it?
I did 2 full seasons.
Because you already had a lot of content made when I came in.
I still always am dropping content, but I do know that a podcast of some sort or some sort of longer form content is in my future. I just don't know what it is yet.
I got you.
Yeah, I just care about making something for my listeners, not my peers.
I got you.
Instead of being an artist,
you had a specific audience.
Right. Instead of being an artist who makes content, becoming the next as a creator, right? Instead of becoming going from a music artist to a creator who is now talking about music business or music things, like I don't want to do that because I don't think my listeners are interested in that. I think that would change my audience. I want to give something that's going to add to their musical experience, to my lyrics, to everything that is, Trevor Lee experience, so to speak. I mean, I don't want to sound weird, but
No, it's not weird. It's
I just want to expand their experience. I don't want to create a new experience for a new audience.
I got you. No, and it's about having like targeted specific content sometimes. That's something I'm learning too, because I used to be very much a paint on the wall. And then as I've gotten a little bit better, I'm like, okay, I don't have to drop everything I make just to get something out. Like some things, if I can make it and it just be for me sometimes, and I can put it away and be like, it's not even like for putting out to the public.
That's hard for me to do, man.
It's hard.
Like, for example, this single that is dropping or will be out by the time this podcast drops, it will have been like 2+ years old.
Okay.
And some of my singles can be 3 to 5 years old because I've planned that far in advance, but also, that's pretty much it. I planned so far in advance that it's like I'm trying to catch up to what I'm creating.
So it's like you just taking your time with putting it out, but also like you just have specific times you want to like drop.
Well, there's an order. I created these things and I feel like there's an order, and if I don't, like, there's a whole section of my order that didn't get dropped, and now I feel like I can never release it because it was supposed to come at a certain time in my career for the journey of the listeners.
Okay.
So, for example, in 2017, I signed a small record deal with this small label called Rapture Life. Okay. And this is all on, I treated that like I was flipping You know what I'm saying? Like I applied my street knowledge or my business knowledge to it, and if you were to get something and and flip it and make more from it, right? So that's what I did with that deal. I used it as a slingshot to create what you see now.
Yeah, I got
So the growth that happened following that, and I knew that what I was creating at that point was not what I wanted to end up creating, and so I knew I needed to bring my audience from that time with me on the journey. And I knew I had to string through, I had to take them to where I am right now, to where they would accept the music that I'm doing right now versus what I was doing then.
Okay.
And so I had to lead them through. And if I had jumped from then to now, then it wouldn't have worked. I would have lost my half my listeners. They would have been like, what are you doing? You ever get an album from someone from like one of your favorite artists and just like, what the heck, this is out of left field? It's kind of like the Beyonce when she did that dance record that was all like the EDM stuff, which
Yeah, well, I don't remember that one specific, but I know the Drake one where he did like Nevermind, and it was like random sonically, like from his other albums.
Sure, but I think the Beyonce dance one, which is probably why you missed it.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know I don't know Beyonce's albums like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it was totally left field, different than anything it split everybody in half.
Okay,
that were her listeners. Some people hated it, some people loved it. I didn't want to do that with my listeners.
I got you.
So yeah,
sounds like you was about to get in there.
Well, I mean, I wanted to go back to the label part. How did that come about? Getting on that record label.
Well, it was just it's a small independent label. I just heard through the pipeline that my buddy was like, hey, we were talking about doing a deal with this other artist, and I was like, they were talking about giving them, I guess I could talk about it now. We far away. They were like, yo, I was just talking about giving $5,000 to this other artist, and I'm like, I mean, I could flip that $5,000 and make a project out of that. I'll make it happen. And he was like, he's like, I thought of you because you're really good soil. So like, and you're really on the rise right now, or you've got a lot of pull in the city, and you got a good following, and you're really talented. So he's like, but I didn't think 5 was going to be enough for you. I'm like, it's not, but I'll make it happen. I was in a position where I had all of the tools, the people around me, and I was in a really good position. I just didn't have the extra funds. And when you're using outside funds, it makes it a lot easier to make decisions and execute. Because it's not so tied to you.
Yeah. Tied to you, like you eating every day.
Right. And then also you have people that are giving you support. So we spoke, and Dewan, who's still the owner of that label, she was very gracious, and she thought the same thing. And they invested, and they ended up spending more than that, which I'm very grateful. And thanks to them, it was a success, and I supported that release of that album, which is basically a vital part of my career, because it's not that the album was a success, but it was an opportunity for me to create without thinking about anything else. Like, I was able to create whatever I wanted. I was able to work with who I wanted, which were my friends and some of my friends that I couldn't afford to work with. And so it was I just got to do things that I've always wanted to do, but couldn't. Right. Okay. And so it's very eclectic. But to support that album, I started releasing singles on my own. And from that, I just kept grinding. And so it gave me a reason. I was responsible to somebody. I had to promote the album. I had to get out there. That's another side of being signed, is that it's not just on you, but you have a duty to that contract.
Did that take you out of your comfort zone to a certain extent?
Nah, I was ready.
You was ready?
Nah, let me watch what I say. Oh, dog, I'm so good at this. I am way better at it now than I was then. But I knew my potential, and I knew that's what I needed. I just saw it clearly.
Okay.
And I'm very, very grateful for that. If there ever came a situation where I thought that they could make more money, I would absolutely reach out to them. But I take outside investment extremely seriously.
For sure.
Because unless you know what you're doing or know what you're investing in, it can be very volatile. Because music, it takes a lot of money to make the needle move in music.
For sure.
Not just money, but if you really want to elevate your career, it takes a serious bag. And part of that bag is to pay a good team. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So no, that's some good stuff he said right there. Going back even further though, we want to get to the roots, man. Going back to young Trevor in Texas, was it always music for you? Was it always music?
Yeah, actually, I started like writing poetry as soon as I could write. So like 8, 9, I was writing poetry. I loved pen and paper.
Okay.
So I would just write.
So you always knew you wanted to be an artist?
Well, no, I didn't know I was going to be a music artist until I was 13 and I got my guitar passed down to me from my mother. Okay. She passed down her guitar to me, and then I ended up putting that poetry to music. And then literally a year later, I asked for production software, which at that point was Fruity Loops. That's what it was called. And she got me the $100 version, which wasn't the full version, but it was a version enough for me to produce an album. And she had me in the studio that next year because we were really dedicated. We were doing shows. I had this little group called G-Town Missionaries. It was all Christian. And we were, performing and having a message involved with our performances. And so I had an album that dropped when I was 16. That's cool. And it was all analog. I don't know if you know what that means, but analog is if you ever watch like old vintage recording sessions, or if you ever look at the Beatles or like anything like that, and they had these big wheels. Big wheels of tape. That's analog.
That's analog.
And the way it is we only had 16 tracks available. And the way you had to record was you had to record. So let's say you got all your leads. Okay. You might be able to divvy up your chorus leads and your verse leads, but you had to let this whole song play through and record all the way through on that track. Okay. So I had to record all of the chorus leads in that one track, in that one take.
So there's no punching in?
No. Yeah.
It's old school. Okay.
Punching in will require tape skills.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it all had to be on the same track. And I could be confused about the punching in thing. All I know is that we could not punch in. Okay. And then you do all your highs. Anyways, and so that was my first introduction. I'm very grateful because I remember him talking about, I think he had Cubase or something from that time, Logic or whatever was it might have been Cubase or something. That way he's like, but I haven't really, or maybe it was Pro Tools, the first version of it or something. He's like, but I haven't really messed around with it. So I'm glad I got that experience before the real.
And was this already you in the hip hop bag, or was it Christian, like straight gospel?
So what happened? Well, it's always been hip hop.
Okay.
But it was CHH at that time. Okay. So we called it Holy Hip Hop at that time. This is before Lecrae existed. This is before Lecrae existed. I find out later because I remember I was doing this show one time. I'm skipping around, but remember I was doing this show one time when I was 18, and at this larger church. And they were like, a couple months ago, we had this. It said, hey, do you know Lecrae? I was like, I don't know. And it's like, a couple months ago, we had Lecrae here. I was like, oh, cool. And that was the first time I heard about him. And we were all very spread out, not really connected at that time. It's a different time. This is like, bro, this is
Yeah, give me a year. Like what, 2010?
No,
Before that?
2006.
2006, okay.
Yeah. This is almost 20 years ago we
This
talking
is-
about with that
yeah.
Lecrae, but
It's pre-blog era.
yeah. But 20 years ago was when I was already recording the
Gotcha,
album
gotcha.
and touring and stuff.
Okay.
And
Boy said I've been in the game. Y'all young bucks. I got you.
I'm still young though. I'm
No,
only 35.
Oh, you
man.
for
Like,
sure young. You
Yeah,
for sure
yeah,
young.
yeah.
I'm just talking about relative.
I'm legit. When you get this age, you realize, oh, this is prime.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The next 10 years is the prime time of my life.
Even more
So-
than that, man. Even
Well, I
more
mean,
than- yeah.
because I'll be enjoying.
yeah, I got
you know what I mean?
got you for sure.
But anyways, so like what happened is so I was on the guitar and singing and leading. We started this little band that we would lead worship in our community. I was running a youth group that I had felt led to create in my local small little church. And so we started this band on the weekends, and then these dudes came in while we were rehearsing, and they said, "Hey, we freestyle for Christ." I'm using their words. And they put on a beat. We used to get beat CDs, so it'd just be that's how you would get it. Someone would get you a CD, you burn it from LimeWire or something like that. And they put in some Dr. Dre beats, and they started freestyling. And I was already into hip hop. 50 Cent was my guy. Was really into like the pop hip hop at that point. And then I liked some of the harder stuff growing up in Houston. So like K Reno, and then obviously like Fat Pat, and those who followed, which was Kiki, etc., Chameleonaire, all of that. So, but what happened is that I caught the bug that night. I started kind of freestyling. I was like, oh, I kind of got this, which was already kind of a thing. I would do the beat on the table in the lunchroom. And this is in Galveston, Texas. And I just started praying every day. I started praying every day that God would give me the skills and the talent. And literally a few months later, I had that Fruity Loops. I was producing, and we had we were touring within the next year. And my mom would take the calls. I would listen. I'd be like, yeah, do this, this, and that. And my mom always was behind it as far as like supporting me. When she dug into her savings to pay for the album, that was when I think back on that now, I think, would I do that for my son? Like, that's huge that she did that. I didn't have a lot of things as a kid. I had what I needed. And we were not extravagant. We were not wealthy. So for her to do that is huge. For sure. I think she pulled out like $2,500 to do that over the course of like 2 years. And I mean, it's like the first time I ever look back on that, I think, man, what I could have done with $2,500 if I knew then what I knew now. Yeah.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Anyway, so that's what got me into the hip hop, is that I was really into dance, and then that just made sense. I was on that we had Ball High Esquire step team, the whole nine. I was yeah.
I remember that time period. Stepping was way more popular back then, bro.
Yeah, we had a step team, Ball High Esquire. Shout out. Yeah. But that was it, man. And go ahead, I'm sorry.
It seems like, it's been creative thing after the next for you, and so what you were saying about your mom is so real. A lot of times some people don't get that support from, the people that are closest to them. So, and that is a true blessing. And how did that shape your confidence? I feel like, having somebody that's right next to you, that your parents, your sibling, or whatever, are like really supporting what you got going on, can really like jumpstart you for real. So, how did that kind of help with your confidence?
Well, my mom, she taught me from a very young age about business. So when I was 8 years old, she helped me use Microsoft Publisher to create business cards, and I had Mr. T's car wash, or not car, lawn mowing service, where I walked up and down. That was when I lived here in Alabama. I was born here in Alabama. I left when I was 10 to go to Galveston, Texas.
So where were you born, in Huntsville?
Huntsville, yeah. But I lived in this, it's called Quiet Lane over in Hazel Green. Okay. And
you was out there with the country boys.
it was for 1 year. It was the only time we ever had a house. Like before that, we were in trailers. And then after that, we were in apartments. So I didn't have the house life until my late teens. But this 1 year, we had a home. And I would go up and down the street, knocking on doors, mowing the lawns, and that was my first business. And from that point on, I had different businesses throughout my life, whichever fit the year of my life or what the circumstances were. When we moved to Galveston, the first year in Galveston, I noticed that every car really needed a car wash because it was beach life. It's an island. Galveston is an island. So I created Mr. T's car wash and would go around my apartment complex. Being this T, Trevor, you know what I mean? I got you. So, but yeah, also to play on it. And I would go around looking for dirty cars and pitch to the owner, find the owner and pitch to them to let me wash it. And what, you're going to say no to a 10-year-old, who wants to wash your dually, and then they would tip like crazy. So I had a bag on me, as a 10-year-old.
Got that hustler mentality. I like it.
Yeah, had that CD player I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
But yeah, so I didn't, and I had my mom's, but I think the reason why I had that relationship with her is because I didn't have a father. Okay. So, I didn't meet him until later.
I got you. So going back to I guess those formative years, who was some of the artists that shaped you the most?
Well, like I said, 50 Cent. 50 Cent played a huge role. And I know that's kind of like, I'm a lyricist and 50 Cent could be argued that he's not a lyricist, but I would argue that he is. The reason why 50 Cent was so crucial and so valuable to me as a developing artist is that he could make a hit and say a lot in a little. Mm-hmm. And coming from Galveston and Houston, and where you speak in a way that you don't say as much, but you say exactly what you mean, and it is to be understood on multiple levels, right? Like, hold up can mean a bunch of different things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Come and dine can mean a bunch of different things. But also not only that, but like hitting cultural understandings and situationally that you feel the moment. So for example, he could say a line and it'll take you to a memory, a moment, and understand that whole feeling, but he didn't have to say everything.
For sure.
And so that played a huge role in my life, as far as like, and then Kanye West. I say Kanye West. Easy. And that was Testify. That was at that time.
Okay.
Testify. Yeah. That was that time period with that. But 50 Cent's Massacre was, I know that from front to back. I know that
doing crazy numbers.
Mm-hmm. It's something about it. That was right after Get
Rich or Die Trying, right?
Yeah.
He was doing crazy numbers at the time. I remember that I would listen to what was it? It wasn't Pandora Radio. It was one of the Rhapsody. I would be on my computer at school listening to stuff on Rhapsody. Man, you get it for free.
Yeah. And then I grew up on VH1 before that. So because my mom didn't let me watch MTV, so VH1 had Bad Boy.
Okay.
So all the Bad Boy artists, so Flavia in Your Ear, Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott.
She must not have known what VH1 was about. Cause I'm like, VH1 was just as bad as MTV sometimes.
I don't know.
it was
dope.
Thing.
Blackstreet, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I had the tape. I played over. And then also like from jock jams to like, I always was eclectic. Like You really just want to dance. Get your back up off the wall.
Okay.
Get your back up off the wall. Yeah.
I like what you said about how people, because I noticed when I moved to the South, people say a lot with a little.
Mm-hmm.
It could be one word and have so many different meanings. And it's really a Southern thing to me, and it's different lingos and different spots. Like I lived in New Orleans for a while, and they talk completely different from people in
comments on my stuff from haters. If I do get a hater, it's gonna be try hard. It's gonna be why are you so expressive? So like, and the thing is that like I'm saying a lot. So if I deliver it correctly, you're gonna understand me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Like
this is like internet trolls or something.
Oh, I'm just using that as a reference. Like if I do get hate, those are the type of things, and that applied to what you was talking about saying a lot, and you could see what they meant. And so my words not only are meant to be studied over time, because they have at least 4 levels, and it sits to marinate. So for example, passion ain't contagious, confusion is. And I ain't catching nothing, I ain't used to win. Social distance ain't solution, it's preventative. Fact, absence is a move most forget exists. This too, counter moves don't count as moves. They are moved by others who out making moves. Like that friend who saw M&M's back in school. And if you if you knew, probably got attitude. And if it's true, you probably already knew. Longitude is more valuable than latitude, because a view ain't as useful if the trip was smooth. How far your feet move make the difference huge. How it won't change as much as distance do. Heart only match who you give it to. Cause anyway, I'm trying to remember.
That's pretty cool. All right, I want to take a break real quick, y'all. I want y'all to like, share, and comment. We're gonna still get into this interview. Before that, though, I want to promote your single Iguana. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Iguana, shout out to all the iguanas out there. Iguana is I use it as a reference to anyone who shouldn't be or isn't where you're at right now with you still.
Okay.
So
break it down.
So the song Iguana is really a tribute to everyone who's doing better than their ex is.
Okay.
So everybody wants to do better than their ex.
Now we get into the nitty-gritty. All right.
Everybody wants to be doing better than their ex is. And even if you're the type of person that's like, I'm not petty like that, I'm not petty like that, but still, I will admit that at it deep down, if I allow myself, if I ran into my ex, I would like to be doing better than they are. And what I mean by that is mentally, spiritually, physically, you know what I mean? It's like, and so this is kind of a petty, but also honest.
It's a real human feeling.
Yeah, if you see my ex around, tell the trick, I found what she missing.
Okay.
Came up with the same dime. And I ain't changing now. Only day one's lied in the kitchen. Talking about, Lil mama won't play right now. Lil shorty got the aim right now. I'm rolling with the same top down. Still holding in the game locked down.
All right, then.
So, and then it takes this nice spin in the second half of the record and really breaks it down. And I like that it gives it a deeper element in the second half. It's real nice and playful in the beginning, and then it kind of gets real but empowering in the second half. And I love it. It's playful, it's fun, it's energy. The DJs I sent it to were all like, yo, we can play this at the club. And I'm like, yo, I finally got my first playable track in the club. That's dope. You know what I mean? Because I'm not technically that type of artist yet. You know what I mean? I'm more family friendly or day. I'm a day like or cruising.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vibing. So to have something that can make you want to dance and have a good time or whatever is dope.
No, that's a vibe, bro. I like that hook. That was tough.
Now, folks gonna be in the comments like, who hurt you? You know what I'm saying? So you got to get ready for that.
Many people. But when I write songs, it's like the details are not personal. That's a big mistake if you're doing that, in my opinion. That's a great way to mess your life up. But I do
to a certain extent.
Well, it's meant for everybody, but it's also a healing process. You know, I write for myself. Overall, like if I don't like it and if it doesn't bring value to my life, then I'm not gonna write it. But I don't want to make it too personal because then you have to live with that.
Oh, for sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is, like it's this nice little story. It can bring you in. Like I thought she was a shoe-in, but that I left the shoe with the other one she doing. Caught the slip. Now she acting loose lips, leave a nasty tongue. Can't trip if she ain't the one. Not a trick, no, I ain't the one. Drip none. My honey too thick to dim some. My tip enough to dim sun. If the change back, when the change back, read the sign. Cause when green hit, yellow hoes tripping at the line. Ain't no king switch a 7-fold figure for a dime. Seams rip, only queen sticking at your side. To the chamber with another squeeze, disco in the ride. Tiptoe through the scene like I'm Jackson number 5. Keep it humble. I don't care if you fine. If you catching too much action, I'ma have to let you die.
Okay. He came in here with clips, y'all. He came up here with clips. You the first artist that came in here just with them
They're
loaded.
supposed to do that.
That's what they supposed to do. That's what they supposed to do.
Do we make music?
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that.
Like I'm here to have a good time, but also, anybody who's anybody need to listen to my music. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah. Y'all check that out. So now I gotta give you a start bench cut, man. Have you ever done that before?
What is that?
So you into sports? You into basketball, football, anything?
I play them.
Okay.
But
okay.
I
so
I don't watch too much.
Okay, I got you. So typically you do a start bench cut. We gonna give you 3 artists.
Okay.
The one you like the most gets start. The one you like the second most gets bench, and then the one you like the least out of the group gets cut.
Okay.
So it's
I get it.
My goal.
It's like F murder kill.
Yeah.
Start
basically.
bench cut.
Start
I got
bench
you.
cut. Start bench cut. So I'm gonna give you 3. Then Trent's gonna give you 3, and we're gonna see how long we can go. So we're gonna start with Houston artists.
Okay.
I'm gonna start. You brought up Chameleonaire earlier.
Start.
Oh, you can't. You gotta wait for me to get them all out first, man. Wait for me. To
okay.
He said he's starting up something.
I'm start Chameleonaire. You want to know why I would start hands down? I don't have to hear nobody else. I'll start Chameleonaire.
Why?
That man is so business savvy.
Okay.
And his music will last your lifetime and beyond.
Okay.
It's just that simple. But I'm also biased because I'm from Houston.
Okay.
And I grew up big swangers and okay.
I got you. All right, so dang, so you gonna be biased.
Also, we both went to Jersey Village High School, so
okay. All right. We gonna take Chameleonaire off. Let's pivot because we already know where that was going. Shout out Chameleonaire. All right, so we gonna go with some artists you mentioned earlier. I'm gonna go Eminem. I'm gonna go 50.
all right.
I'm gonna go Ye.
Start Ye.
Cut. Oh yes, good
Start
man,
Ye.
good man. Yes sir. Easy.
Bench 50.
Okay.
And then what's the third one?
Eminem.
No, what's the third thing?
Cut
Eminem.
Okay.
The reason why I would cut Eminem because if we're talking about currently, I think that Eminem is still a dope human. I think he still has a lot of value musically. But if we're talking about Kanye is still leading, 50 Cent is still capable of producing a moment.
Okay.
And I think Eminem is still valuable as a lyricist. But if I want to get in the game, to be honest, I want Ye and 50 to ride with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Trent, give me a three piece real quick.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with these 3 legends of the time right now that everybody is debating. I'm gonna go Drake, Kendrick, Cole.
Ooh, that's my era.
Okay.
We got him stumped, y'all. We got him stumped.
I'm gonna start Drake because his tours are phenomenal.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep Kendrick on the bench, and then I'm gonna cut Cole.
Okay.
Because he can handle himself. Okay. Like he can handle like he'll get picked up quick. And to be honest, I would love to do a song with Cole over any of them. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about playing, I want Drake and Kendrick for those particular reasons. Okay. So Kendrick is gonna make music that I feel like is different than me. I feel like me and Cole are too close. Okay. And I feel like me and Kendrick would complement each other in a very opposites attract kind of way.
Now I got another question. If you were starting a label, would your order be the same?
No.
Okay. So if you were starting a label and you had to sign two of them,
I would sign Cole first because I feel like he's still got so much room. Like he
hasn't even fully tapped in.
He's got so much room. I would cut Drake.
Okay.
Because I just don't want to deal with that. And I would bench Kendrick. Yeah, I would sign Kendrick, obviously. I mean, but we talking
that.
Yeah.
That.
And that's just because like he's mad creative.
Okay.
And I just think like that's also why like I could never let go of Kendrick if that was a teammate. He's so incredibly creative in a way that I have always felt like yeah man. That from that moment when I heard that, the first time I heard that, I was locked in. And it was the way that whole record was put together.
So, all right, I got another game for you. This first one, what would you give to a young artist about to get into the game?
I would say, how old are they?
We say 18.
18? I would say find a skill other than music and then provide that skill for free. In turn, knowing that you're going to get mentorship. So for example, find the people who you think you can find to be touchable, or that are, even if you got to start with like the people doing it in your city that are locals, start doing it for them and start picking up game immediately. And at the same time, find yourself a day job and just work 18 hours a day, splitting it between your day job and doing this skill for artists that are further ahead than you. And number one, it's going to build you relationship that you'll have forever. Do not expect anything in return from these skills. Your return is the game and experience and relationships that'll come from the fact that you're doing these skills for this artist. You will meet other people. You will build relationships. And do not at all make the most common mistake and think that anybody owes you anything that you did for them. No one owes you anything because you did something for them. And no one is going to screw you over unless you screwed yourself over. And don't go out here with some defense trying to protect your nothing. You have nothing. If you are someone in a place that has nothing, I'm not saying that you are nothing. You're something. I'm saying you have nothing to work with. No one can take advantage of nothing. So if you're getting into something that's getting you somewhere to where you can have some knowledge and experience to make decisions on, then you got what you needed out of that relationship. So don't be defensive. Be humble and get with somebody who's willing to just give you the game while you make a reason for them to keep you around them. and do that and get that game back. That's how you do it.
Okay.
Absolutely 100 times over.
That was excellent. Number 2, what would you give to an artist who's got a little bit of traction? Maybe they're coming out of their first minor deal. Maybe they just have some buzz in the city.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give to that artist as far as the next step? They've got some success.
Yeah.
But it's a first down, not a touchdown.
Stop being cheap. Get back to your day job. Save up your bread. Take 2 years off. Save your bread. Invest your bread. Learn that first, because if you're hurting at this moment, this is basically, if this person is hurting, I say I say absence is a move most forget exists. That's one of my lines. Absence is a move. Do not sprinkle yourself across a year. Exit, build up, and then smash on them. Okay. You will be remembered for way longer. And if every time you do that, there will never be a time where you've been off. There will never be a time when you've been watered down. If you have nothing to give, be absent. If you don't have music to promote, be absent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't have money to execute, don't execute.
Yeah.
Get your bag, a small bag,
mm-hmm.
and be working on what you can work on, and then make a plan to use that bread to execute what you need. Right? And then do that. It doesn't have to be huge, but it needs to be memorable, consistent, and everything. That's the biggest mistake that people make. And I've made it. I've made it before. That's why I know. And I've seen my friends make it. Every creator, every person will tell you the biggest mistake they can make is try to stay relevant when you're not. And what I mean by when you're not, which means if you don't have something to give to be relevant, then you are not relevant. You are just commentating. And there's nothing worse than a music artist commentating because he ain't got no music to drop. So he's over here making tweets and posts talking about this and that. Man, shut up until you got some music. And then say it in your music, because your listeners are not going to respect your music if you over here just talking all the time.
Gotcha. No, I done seen quite a few just be out here.
Yeah, if they not releasing music, they over here talking.
Tweet.
Yeah, I've been tempted to do this myself.
For sure.
And that's when I know that's one of those red flags for me, is like, if I find myself wanting to comment on something that is about music or feeling some type of way, I know immediately right off, I said, okay, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not executing.
Yeah. Because
the moment that you're not executing or building to a moment, you're gonna start acting like the opposite of what you are.
Destroying.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is you're gonna start acting like a petty little bitch. Like, that's what I mean. And you'll start acting like like the world owes you something, or your current followers or listeners, or you should have more this, more that. Man, there was a time where I had 100,000 streams in like 6 days over, in millions of views and things like that. And my numbers were going crazy. But man, I just got emotional like a few months ago, or a month ago. I guess it was like a month ago, when I saw that I was back up over 1,000 monthly listeners, because I had been absent on purpose. Mm-hmm. And to see that the number was starting to go back up while I was executing was very nice. And to feel that made me realize, or not realize, but it was a humbling experience in a way that's like, yeah, wherever you are in your career, and any person who has a career or has had a career and is independent knows 110% that followers, current streams, or I mean past streams, like if you have a song that's like I got a song that's like 100 plus K like on Spotify right now, and it's still a gift that keeps on giving, but that's still past. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have a current record that's doing that. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. It don't.
Yeah. And sorry if I started rambling a little bit.
No,
I hope
no,
I was hitting the topic still.
Right now. You hitting the topic. Sure.
And I want to say, like, I'm no authority, but if you ask me, I'll answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it sounds like you just speaking from like your real thoughts, feelings, and experiences. So it's all valid, bro. It's all valid. And so the last one, just some just real man advice, bro. It could be about anything, just outside of music though. If, like you was just talking to, still could be like a younger artist or a homie or a little homie, and you just like some real life advice.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time, bro.
Just some real life advice. It don't got to be music, basically.
For who?
It could be a younger artist, a younger homie, just
anybody now.
No. Let's say still a younger artist, but it's a younger. Say you're still developing a younger artist, but you don't just give them music advice. You still talk to them about like life too.
How about a young man? Advice for a young man.
Yeah, a young man.
I guess it'll stem from, don't talk about it, be about it. Last thing you want to be is the person who told everybody you were going to do something, and then you realize that what you said you were going to do isn't really what you should be doing because you learned and now you need to switch it, but now you're obligated to what you said you were going to do. So that can be an Achilles heel in your journey. If you talk about what you're going to execute before you execute it, before you get to a point where you know it's happening, it shackles you to have an inability to be flexible, to change that execution to be what it actually needs to be. Because now you've failed on something that you shouldn't be failing on. Because if you say you're going to do it and then you don't do it, you failed on something and you just added a failure that now is weighing down on you for no reason.
Yeah.
That did nothing for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just that simple. Do not say you're going to do something to more than the people that are executing with you. Or at least until you've got, some people can be reckless like that if they've just executed so many different times. They know that if they say something, it's going to happen. If you're young, you probably don't have that type of experience.
Yeah.
Don't shackle yourself down by talking all big. Literally just do it.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, literally just do it.
Nah, you convicted me. I told my mom I was going to fix this damn toilet thing. I got to go over there and do that.
I mean, that's a good point, because what if you realize that it's bigger than you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
what
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Real. Like, it's like someone who's like, I made stipulations in my career that I felt like were benchmarks. Mm-hmm. They ended up being unattainable at the time. For example, I just keep it real. Like, I thought it was time for me to get on Sway a few years back, and then 2020 happened, and then the whole Sway thing kind of changed up. Now it's back where it's possible in my future, but it might not make sense for my career. So I was talking all that and saying all that. In reality, it might not actually make sense for where I'm headed. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
It's like talking before you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's real. That's real. That's super real.
Although I was smashed.
You say you would kill that?
Yeah, I think I'm ready again. For sure. I was
you got the
smashed.
skills for sure. But nah, bro, that was excellent, bro. Nah, you went off. You went off for sure.
Well, I am notorious for being too passionate.
Ain't no such thing, man.
Yeah, there is. ask my uncle.
Well, he done told you to calm down before?
Nah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. This is his personal story.
Oh, I got you.
You can't be too passionate.
Trent, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on the time. Yeah, time and place. Shoot. So, I mean, as far as you have Iguanas coming out, I've also noticed, on your platforms, it's like a lot of singles.
Absolutely.
Do you have any, I guess, ideas of coming out with a full project or album?
It's an EP, and I am backlogged with music like crazy. So I do plan on releasing as many as possible this year. I used to release between 8 and 10 singles a year, but I only released one single the last each 2 years. And that's because I was just going through some things that needed to be absent. Some of the advice that you asked me was things that I had to take my own advice. And I'm glad I did, because now in that absence, man, I elevated my craft like once again, and just like the music that's going to come out, if I'm able to continue to execute, it's going to be phenomenal. I think for me, the hardest thing was realizing that I couldn't afford during those years to do music videos like the ones I did the previous years. And when you've executed on that level, it's really hard to stomach not being able to release a song in that way again.
Facts. I've been there on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just, you never want to go back in quality.
It's hard.
It stings you. But continue, my fault.
No, you're right. And basically what I had to realize is that quality is in the goal, in the ability to execute the goal, not the product. And I only know that because as a video editor,
Facts.
as a video editor,
you can go viral with a grainy video if it's got the right message.
If it's on purpose, if it's edited on purpose, right? So if you execute the goal differently, and as long as you executed the goal, then quality is not. But yeah, I mean, it does make it a lot easier, and I executed so hard in 2020 despite the lockdown. And, you have to live with those type of things, like not being able to tour during that time really hurt my momentum. That was the whole plan, was to tour at the same time I was dropping all that heat.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I also realized that, like, the music is still new because there's still a ton of people who haven't heard it. So I just got to keep dropping, keep executing, because, man, I got heat that I'm just sitting on. Just like, I'm in transition. This is a plan position. Smaller house make it easier to stay in niches. Bigger couch full of plate, that's more dishes. I ain't got time for your business. Only mine. This is short interest. Only dine if the term's different. Only up if it earned different. Only out if concern's different. Only cut if it heard different. Sat backstage till the curtain shifted. Now I'm seeing through screens like I got certain symptoms.
My boy got clips for you. Okay, then.
When we gonna? Yeah, we gotta get him in to do a freestyle for us.
Yeah,
Yeah. Treat gang. Always move in a present state. Keep my house wrapped in yellow tape. Vibes increases, so check them shoes for they pass the gate. Deeper groove showing up for strength. Can't leave room for a serpent's ace, but leave a room when the void is great. And don't employ a lame, cause he can't remove the aim, just avoid the L. By peeping cues for a W is made. Ain't the struggle you escape, it's the trouble you evade. Only dummies moving ways that don't calculate for breaks. Funny dudes let the mood affect the money pace. 2020 prove the gang will do whatever it gon' take. That's why my neck naked, but my heart's gold. Head damage made a heart skull, and steady hands make the smart old. And any man with some time off his hands know this space ain't safe no more. That's all I'm giving you. That's what I got.
Good, bro. He good. Man,
Trenton. No, it's just Trent. What's your full first name?
Just Trent. Yeah. Everybody try to add stuff on there, but you know.
Yeah, so that
well, maybe it's because you got a lot packed in there. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a compliment.
Yeah.
When people want to name you other things, it's because they either like you, want to be like you, or are envious in a positive way.
See.
Yeah.
My boy got motion.
That's the word.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But man, I appreciate you for coming through, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me. Truly an honor. And it was a really nice podcast. You had a lot of great questions, and I appreciate you letting me ramble from time to time. And you really hit home for me. It was nice. I decided I would come and be open. I appreciate that. I like what you're doing, and I support. Tree Gang.
Man, look, let me say this real quick. A lot of artists be like pulling teeth. You know, we appreciate having somebody like you that can kind of allow us to not ask as many questions, so you kind of just flow easily. So we appreciate that.
We appreciate you talking a lot, Trev. We appreciate you talking the whole damn time. I appreciate you hogging the mic.
Nah, man, you was just talking, man. You was just flowing with it, being vulnerable, man, and I love that, bro. You weren't even rambling, bro. It might have felt like that to you, but to us, you was just getting your. I don't want to cuss now, but getting your shit off. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm straight. It's good.
But nah, man, you super talented, bro, and you got a heart after God, which is a blessing, man. So,
Absolutely. My faith is a very serious part of my life. Faith in God, it's a relationship that I developed as a young man, and it held me through. And it wasn't just acknowledging that God exists. It was literally reading his word and attempting to dive deep into it, understand it, and apply what I could. Obviously, I've been unsuccessful at applying. No. I'm being real. Yeah. I believe everybody is quite unsuccessful at applying the word to their life. Otherwise, we wouldn't need it. And people spend their entire lives studying the word to get out of it what it offers, and they still don't reach the end of what it has to offer. And I only realize that now in my life as a father now, and as a husband for over a decade, how valuable that relationship with God has proven to be, even in my darkest times of my life, earlier on into dark times that I've had in my role, that only the word and that relationship with God, continually knowing who he is, has seen me through it. And no one will ever understand until they actually spend the time diving into the word, not simply attempting to just read, but do the study and the work. Because it is only time that allows it to seep in. And I'm talking repetition. I'm not talking about, oh, you read it once. You don't know shit if you read it once. Pardon me. But you don't know. And any person who says they read it and they know what it says is a liar. Because it takes a lifetime just to get into the shallow end.
It's a living.
Yeah. And only through experience, and then having the experience, clinging to the truth that's in the word, allows you to understand it even more so, and to fully understand. Because when you experience it, it's like when your favorite artist says that line and you think it's the hardest line, you show it to your friend and like they don't think it's that hard, and it's like, because you don't get it, you didn't live that line like I lived that line.
It's simple to you, but it's the simplicity, like it's here,
right,
it's here.
Exactly. And that is what it's like with the word, is when you come to that point where that thing becomes applicable and you have to hold on to it and hold on to the truth in it to get through that moment. and you see it work, that's when you ride for it like that.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Man. That's a beautiful thing, man.
I did it again.
No,
My
you
bad.
do. You do. That's powerful stuff, man. That's powerful stuff, and it's real. It's real. But man, we ain't gonna hold you too much longer, man. Thank you once again. All in audio, man. Y'all like, share, and comment. Y'all follow my boy Trevor. Y'all stream Iguana when it comes out, and y'all just support my man. Y'all check out that music. Y'all check out the content drops. You was working with my boy Sammy.
Sammy Cocos.
Yeah.
Shout
my
out.
boy. Shout out, my boy.
Yeah. Every day's Christmas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, y'all check my guy out, and y'all know you going to bigger and better things from here on out, man. So
Yeah, and hopefully it's not my weight.
nah, man, nah,
You know what
we
I'm saying? Hopefully my weight is not bigger and better.
man, we doing that.
Heavier pocket.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Heavier
Pockets.
pockets.
Yeah, heavier
a whole lot
pockets.
of that. But man, this is all in audio, man. Trent, take us out.
Yeah, all in, all out. Hey, y'all just keep grinding, keep pushing your chips all the way in, go all in.
Sir.
All in audio experience.